the Summit Board of Review and it is not logging in. I don't know what's going on with my laptop. I've not used it for about a week, possibly a fortnight, possibly even 3 weeks. It's very annoying. I need it to work because we're starting in about 5 minutes, if that. Fingers crossed. Getting somewhere. Have my notepad with questions. I have my pen for notes. Meeting launched, we're getting somewhere. Or maybe not. How has your knowledge and understanding of your promise or your oath grown since you first started scouting? I was going to say, if there is time, what's your next plans for scouting? What does the future hold for you? Joining room 1. So which version of Larry do we have here? The real one or the pretend one? Yeah, no, I was going to say, from an outside perspective, I was just very impressed when we were talking how open she was, how honest she's been. She's obviously grown in herself through her scouting journey. She's obviously found lessons that she wants to use in the rest of her life. And I think she's shown commitment to the ideal. And that's ultimately what we want from people. People that understand that scouting is a way of life, not just something you do every Tuesday afternoon or whatever. And all I will say on that note is the emails between Larry and Gilwell were legendary. If you can just imagine an email trail which is a very forthright, effusive, enthusiastic American, and a British office worker saying, well, no, we can't do that, sorry. It was quite comedic and quite beautiful. And this is a unanimous decision as well, isn't it? The Board of Review is done. The young lady who was being assessed had a unanimous vote to pass her Summit Award. I then stayed on the Zoom call for about 15-20 minutes chatting to my friend Larry, who was running it all. I am now completely awake and keyed up and bouncing and buoyant, which is completely and utterly unhelpful because I now need to go to bed and fall asleep. Ready to have my vaccination tomorrow morning in about 2:33, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 9 hours time. That's 9 hours time before I get a needle in my 9.25 hours before I get a needle stuck in my arm, which means I need to do sleep before then. And I don't want to sleep because I'm awake, because that was a really good Board of Review and it was a really good conversation with Larry. I'm off to get boosted. My appointment is in about 1/4 hour's time, 20 minutes time. It takes about 15-20 minutes to walk into town. I fear I'm going to have to take the bus, which I don't want to do, because that's £1.50 to go 10 minutes up the road. But if the alternative is missing my slot and missing my appointment, all right, I'll suck it up. But I don't want to. I don't want to. I've had my booster. My arm hurts slightly. The biggest thing that freaked me out was when I walked in and saw lots of people in army fatigues. Because I grew up in an army town, I know what the army can be like. And when I
because the way they did it, you fill in your form, the doctor comes to talk to you and then signs you off to say you're okay for having the vaccination. And when I said this to him, he's like, don't worry, most of them are RAF, civilians in uniform. I was like, that kind of made me feel a bit better. The guy who did my vaccination is an RAF engineer who's been trained to put vaccinations in. I was like, great. I'm not at all panicked at an engineer sticking a needle into my arm, but it was fine. My arm started hurting before I'd had the vaccination. I was getting sympathy pains, I think, or sympathy aches, or aches of anticipation, as it were. I don't know. But it's done. I have gone into town. I have bought some paracetamol. I bought a lot of paracetamol. James is getting his booster later today, so we can both sit and suffer the side effects together. But what I didn't want is to get to Christmas and still be suffering side effects and not have any pharmacies open and not being able to get any painkillers or any kind of medicinal relief. So that's why I've stocked up. And I've walked back home through the graveyard that I normally cut through, but there is a far exit. It's got two, well, it's got several entrances and exits, but there is one which is slightly further away that we don't normally use. And I thought, actually, since I'm out and about and it's daylight and I probably need some more vitamin D, I'm going to take a stroll through the graveyard and walk up through the far exit and take the long route back home. Also get a step count up a bit. There you go, both James and I are now completely boosted. I came home and I was like, I don't want to sit around on the sofa all day and just do nothing with the excuse that I'm feeling a bit out of it because of the vaccination. And I kind of went to have a lie down in bed, partly because I was feeling cold, and I slept. Don't know how long I slept for, in all honesty. Went into the garden on the way back from getting my vaccination and found that next door neighbour's cat has been pooing in our garden. The poo, which I haven't cleared away because I was hoping it would get washed away in the rain or something, is now going mouldy. So that's just even more disgusting than the poo was in the first place. I cannot tell you how much I loathe that cat and the way it treats our garden. I don't know what I can do about it. But yes, this evening James came home, we had pizza and we'd been watching Whose Line Is It Anyway and quiz games, and he's got tucked into bed because I think he's feeling possibly slightly achy from the vaccination, and I'm going to be following forthwith. Not many sleeps now until Christmas. Not many sleeps at all.